Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. The Xbox is a masterclass when it comes to racing titles, from Project Gotham Racing to the Rally Sport Challenge series, but one famous Xbox racing series got its start here on the original Xbox. Forza Motorsport made a late debut on the console in 2005, and let's see how it stacks up in the racing library. I played through it recently, so let me give you some history, lasting impact, and my review. All footage was captured from an original Xbox, and I want to thank my YouTube channel members for their support. And let's go ahead and hop into this one's history. Turn 10 Studios started in 2001 around the start of the Xbox, 4 years before Forza's release. At some point, the idea was made to make direct competition to PlayStation's Gran Turismo series. It was a simulation racing game for hardcore car fans and was one of the company's most successful franchises. Xbox wanted Forza Motorsport to be the direct competition to that. This would take many years of work, with development for the series starting 3 years before its 2005 release date. However, this game was never hinted at during its development. It wouldn't debut until it was nearly ready in the spring of 2004. The biggest showcase for Turn 10 was the graphics. This was usually the biggest point for outlets like IGN, GameSpot, and Official Xbox Magazine, hyping that every car would feature detail and nuance, for tuning, and tracks would feature multiple layers of textures to make it feel complete. Even with the announcement of what looked to be a close to completed game, a planned holiday 2004 release was scrapped and moved to early 2005, which would also be scrapped. Funny enough, in February 2005 in North America, the direct competition, Gran Turismo, would see its fourth release before Forza, which means that 2005 would be the year of the sim racer. On May 3, 2005, Forza Motorsport would be released in North America and a little later in the month in Europe. The competition between this and Turismo is front and center, with some copies like mine displaying the Electronic Gaming Monthly review saying better than Gran Turismo 4 right up front. A claim that I can't agree with because I haven't played enough of Gran Turismo 4, but let me know if you'd like a comparison video. That sounds like fun. Personally, I've barely played Forza Motorsport. My Forza experience didn't start until the Xbox 360. And I've played a few races in my time, but this is my first time diving deep into this one. So let me tell you how my experience went, breaking it down, starting with the gameplay. Forza Motorsport, right from the outset, had to prove how different it was when compared to the titles not only on the Xbox but in the 6th generation as a whole. From what I've played of Gran Turismo and other various Xbox racers like Sega GT, Forza places itself as a simulation racer, but it's not quite as hardcore as Turismo. The vehicle detailing and upgrade system is there, the heaviness of cars is there. There's still a nice sense of pickup playability that makes it accessible. Somehow in the sea of racers, Forza, from the start, carves out its own little place in racing gaming history. But I think that builds into its simple but great design. This game is set up with multiple modes. You get your usual time trials mode, which has you getting the best laps, and placing yourself on Xbox Live leaderboards, which Insignia supports this game, so you can continue to place yourself on the leaderboards. You also get an arcade mode, which is a more streamlined racing mode that plays the same, but you unlock races just beating one after the other. And then you get a career mode, where the bulk of your gameplay is going to take place. But first, let me say how clean the interface is here. The menus are laid out perfectly, and moving from event to event isn't hidden behind anything. Something about the simple defined and easy to navigate menu layout makes this game feel modern for 2005, and it's not really showy. No weird story or weird interface. It's all laid out for you quickly and easily, and I can appreciate that. In career mode, you select from an insane amount of races with different categories, from only forward-wheel drive cars, different class types, or models of cars. It's all broken up and you level up as you win more races, which allows you to take on more categories of races, and you earn money to buy cars. Not only that, but you win a lot of new cars along the way as well, giving this game a nice cycle of always being rewarded along with gaining that money so you can tune the cars. And upgrading your car comes with a lot of detail. I do have to admit, I'm not an expert on tiny details of cars, but Forza explains it well, making each piece easy to find and easy to understand how it affects the performance of your car. It's clean and extremely fun. The part that is most important here though is the driving, and this game gets it down right and does something unique. It's not a hardcore sim, meaning that movements are not as slow or heavy, but it is far from an arcade game. You're not going to drift in every car, and you're going to have to brake and watch your turns often. It's a middle ground I quite like, and it makes for a game that has great handling. Racing is tense and difficult because of it, but it feels perfect. Every car has a different feel too, and this game is loaded with cars. You're going to have so much fun with the amount of vehicles you can take to the track here. I also love the brake line that shows up that tells you where you should be going and when to brake. It's a nice touch to help visualize tracks and what you should be doing. It's all responsive, and I love the way it feels. The tracks here help with gameplay, and it makes for great courses with a mix of original and real tracks. All are fun to race on, but my biggest negative with this game is the lack of tracks. I don't think there's enough tracks here, and rolling through the long career mode, you do tend to stay on the same tracks over and over. I would have liked a bit more original tracks to play on, and it would have really broken up the gameplay a little bit, but what's here does work. Other than that though, I don't have many issues with this game. On top of the stellar career mode, you get a fun customization system for cars, which allows you to throw on all kinds of decals. You get a drive-atar system where you can drive in order to teach an AI, which that AI will drive instead of you, which is kind of a neat little addition for this game, especially for something 20 years old. I also got to try multiplayer for this game on Xbox Live, and thank you to everyone in the Insignia, Camp Xbox, and Camp Xbox Discord community who joined in and played. And thank you for everyone who watched the live stream. It was a blast, and we had some full lobbies. I did not do well at all, but I still had a great time. There's not many modes, but you can race with all of your cars on all the tracks, so you have a lot to do. Grinding out races to get a better rating online is a good time, and there's a way to sell your cars, which was very forward-thinking for the time. If you like racing games, this one's worth checking out on Insignia. Forza is just a solid racing game on the Xbox. I appreciate how clean its interface is and the depth of the career mode. Not only that, but the handling is smooth and the races are tense, but extremely fun. It's one of the cleanest and most entertaining playing racers you can get on the console. Forza Motorsport is an insanely great looking game on the console. Coming out in 2005, this is one of those games leading up to the 360 that shows the power that the Xbox could push. The fidelity here is top notch, and it's a clean looking game with amazing lighting. There's no blurriness here. Sightlines are far out, and all of the tracks are designed lovingly. It's all displayed in 480p widescreen and proper widescreen at that, giving you a really nice view of the track. I love the details here, specifically on the road. It has scratches and a texture to it, something that isn't necessary, but helps bring the tracks to life. A huge part of the visual experience in Forza are the cars. These vehicles are packed with insane details. They're not just plastered on textures, but it does look like they have definition. From the door handles to the trunks, they're all lovingly crafted here, and it does a good job of making every car stand out. Not only that, when you hit walls or other cars, the damage here is realistic and it stands out. It might be some of the best vehicle damage done on the console, and I love that it even affects gameplay. Mixing both great looking cars and lovingly designed tracks, and you get a gorgeous package. The only visual issue I have are the reflections. They're fine, but run at a lower frame rate than the rest of the game, so it makes reflections look a little choppy, and it's a bit distracting. Though that is only a small ding because everything else achieved here visually is a knockout. I will say something really controversial for the audio section, but art is subjective and I never want to lie about my feelings in any of these reviews. And that being said, I don't like the music in this game. It's sad because I like Junkie XL. He's put in good work in his career and on the Xbox, but I find this soundtrack bland. When it opens, you get an instrumental rock track for Iron Man by Black Sabbath, which is fine. I also think the tracks created in the menus are solid. Every track here is metal or heavy rock instrumentals, but the menus have a lighter appeal to it. It's not as dirty and feels like a solid background choice. I find the actual music when you race is particularly bland. It's dirtier heavy rock or metal with loud guitars and drums, but it has no personality. Some tracks just sound like Metallica or any classic metal band, but all I could think of was how those sound way better. It feels like a bland impersonation of metal rather than doing something unique. To me, it just didn't click, and I want something that stands out over something that's just going for the status quo. Yet that's just me, as many people enjoy the soundtrack. I do, however, like that this game supports a custom soundtrack, so whatever music you have burned to your hard drive, you can use it in-game, which makes the music a bit lesser of a negative because I can play whatever I want. Other than the music, the sound here is all solid. Revving and braking all have a nice power to them, and all of the cars in unison, working together on the track. It's a very cohesive racing experience. Tires squeal on turns, and with headphones on, it all comes in quite clear. I don't know the extent of what they did in studying how the cars sound, but it does feel realistic. I think the sound effect work here is handled well. Forza Motorsport is a very good racing game on the Xbox, making a simulation racer that does a good job of being accessible, a target that can be hard to hit. It makes for an in-depth game that has a fun sense of speed and great handling as well. I might have wanted more tracks and I didn't love the music, but that's honestly not a huge detriment. This game has a core quality in game design that makes it entertaining the whole way through. Not only that, but it is absolutely gorgeous on the console and is a knockout for visuals. Forza is a great racer. On my ranking list, Forza Motorsport enters in at number 20. I put it above Indiana Jones because I feel like Forza has a better polish and a stronger replay value. Doom 3 goes above this one though, because I feel like the horror mood and feeling of Doom 3 has left a longer lasting impression for me and will continue to do that. Forza came out to universal acclaim upon its release, gaining a 92 out of 100 on Metacritic, making it one of the best reviewed Xbox games of all time. IGN gave it a 9.5, saying that it does some things better and worse than Turismo, but is still a must-have game. GameSpot gave it a 9.2, saying it did a great job offering a hardcore challenge to racing fans, but still giving user-friendly features. In the July 2005 issue of Official Xbox Magazine, writer Tom Price gave it a 9 out of 10. It's funny, he likes the game for the opposite reasons to me. He hated the damage effects, but loved the audio, especially the music, and he also did not like the menu system. I guess me and Tom are different people. Not only did this game do well critically, it also sold well, reaching over 1 million sales worldwide. It's funny though, but this is all just a personal thing. I feel like this franchise wasn't major until its sequel on the 360, and that's when I feel like it really picked up steam, but I know that this one did very well. I want to continue reviewing Forza games, so we will continue the story of this franchise whenever I do talk about Forza 2, which I want to do soon. On Backlog, this game holds a 3.6 out of 5 with over 300 plays. You will see some glowing reviews here, and then there's some that are just okay with it. But I found that the common consensus is that this is a series that got better from here, but it still was a great start. But that does wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, it really helps me on the algorithm. Subscribe to keep up with the retro Xbox content, and be sure to check out my second channel, Camp Extras, for more retro content. Comment below with any memories of Forza, loved it, hated it, agreed or disagreed with me. And I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much for your support, but I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.